Hi, I'm Hilary and welcome to day 5 of the free course with Authentic English, the 7 rules of Authentic English. Usual deal, you've got a video link, an MP3 file and a PDF file. So just to recap, rule 1 was to do lots of listening, rule 2 was to repeat that listening, rule 3 was to schedule your listening time consciously and purposefully so that you sustain the habit of doing this, and listen when your brain isn't fully occupied. We talked in rule 4 about how learning is gradual. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, and also to watch that your inner critic doesn't get in the way. Don't be scared to make errors, don't be scared to get things wrong, just experiment. Rule 5 today, we're going to talk about one of the really powerful ways of learning language that you can use, and that's the benefit of learning in context. Now, this aims to get around one of the very worst things about traditional language learning courses, and that is learning vocabulary from a list. And what we aim to do instead of that's something everybody hates. I know children in school hate that as well. I hate doing that. What we aim to do is embed new words and phrases in short stories and articles, little vignettes, little snippets of ordinary life. I'll give you an example. If I talk about Easter cake, now, my family are not particularly religious, but in the UK we celebrate Easter and we have an Easter weekend. We have a couple of days off work, and my children insist on having every year an Easter cake. Now, this is a chocolate cake and we bake it in the oven, and then we get a knife and we sort of cut a section out of it, and we cover it with chocolate and we rough it all up with a fork. And then in the well in the centre we put a load of chocolate mini eggs, and then on top of there I have some little fluffy chicks in a jar in my kitchen cupboard, and they go on the top, and this is what we have to do every year to celebrate Easter. Now, if you think about this short story, very short story, it makes a picture and it repeats words and it anchors them in context. So I don't know which bits of it will be new vocabulary for you. You might not have known the English word for Easter. You may not have known chick. You may not have known nest or bake or cake. But probably if you listen to this a few times, you have a picture of that Easter cake anchored in your memory. Now, I'm focusing there on nouns, but also there's quite a few verbs which I'm using when I'm talking about baking Easter cake, which are getting into the unconscious area of your brain as well, if you listen to that lots of times. Now, on my longer courses, I will target certain words and phrases using short stories, possibly 8 or 10, and purposefully using them in different contexts to really anchor them, help you anchor them into your mind. So do you remember Easter and egg and cake and nest and chick and chocolate? You may already have known that one. So context is talking about a whole situation. So context is a way of creating a picture in your mind to help you remember a piece of vocabulary. So the context means who was there, when did it happen, what was the weather like, who said what did it look like, what did it smell like. If I give you another example, so say something like the word checkout, which you don't know. So if we talk about a story about a woman, let's call her Sarah, and she drives up to the supermarket in her car. She goes into the supermarket and she takes a basket. And she walks around the supermarket and she picks up some bread and some milk and some apples and some biscuits, and then she wants to pay. So she's there, she's got the money in her hand. Where does she go to? Well, she walks up to the supermarket checkout, and the supermarket checkout assistant runs her goods beep beep through the supermarket checkout, and then tells Sarah how much she owes. Sarah puts the things into her bag, very happy. They say good afternoon to each other and she walks out to her car. So if you listen to a story and the word checkout is embedded in the meaning of the story, it's much more automatic than sitting with that list of vocab in a vacuum, not connected to anything. And if you listen to that story a number of times, then again there'll be lots of other little words which are just sneaking into your brain so that you can remember them. The way the grammar works, the way the verbs change and the different tenses, it's just making you learn them at an unconscious level, and they then become automatic, and sooner or later they will come automatically out of your mouth. So that's enough for today. That's rule 5. That's all I've got to say about context for now. Tomorrow we will come to rule 6 and we'll talk there about what sort of English you might listen to. Have a lovely day and I will see you tomorrow.